Hiya, how you doing? I'm Whimsery, and today we're going to be watching The Exorcist. Why? Because it is one of my most recommended movies in my comment section and my messages over on Patreon, and also because there's something about scary movies that just put me in a really good mood. I think it's after you're done with them, you go back to your ordinary, boring, mundane life, and it's just like, you know what? My life is actually pretty darn good, because what I just saw, I never have to see again. So another thing is, two of my favorite movies that we've watched together on this channel have been Psycho and The Thing, and I love them so much that I'm looking for another good horror movie. I haven't seen too many. Also, The Exorcist came in number 228 on the list that I sometimes go by, which is IMDb's top 250 movies of all time. So yeah, it must be good, right? I don't even have any words. This is just the worst. I know what an exorcism is. The word is scary by itself. I'm not going to get into religion or anything too personal, but I've been around people who are very scared of demons and all that stuff, so I can't say none of it rubbed off on me. Also, it is from 1973, so you know how I feel about older movies. They tend to be a little bit scarier. So I think it's because the special effects, the makeup, or whatever it is, they tended to get a little more scrappy. I mean, they both have their charms, but I don't know, something about these older scary movies. Psycho and The Thing were just, they were such terrific movies. So apparently there's two different versions. The vast majority of comments say go with the theatrical, so that's what I'm gonna do. Also, I couldn't find the other one on the platform that I use, so we're just gonna go with that. This is my longest intro ever. Jeez. Let's get to it. Let's watch the movie. Okay, so this is rated R for nudity, violence, frightening scenes, substance use, alcohol use, smoking, foul language, and sexual content. I think that's the most we've seen thus far. Oh jeez. What have I done? I don't like this music.
Lig auf Schiers reer.
Okay, that's not bad. It's very chaotic. This is kind of cool. What an interesting job that would be.
شيطان يحارب شيطان من أن ما تسافر يا صديقي العزيز عندي شيء لازم أسويه.
I agree. That statue wasn't that cute. I don't know. I'll figure it out. This is a nice little town. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, hell no. Oh, that would be so scary.
Sure do love you.
It's cute.
Oh, Carl, we've got rats in the attic. You better get some traps.
It's clean. All right, then we've got clean rats.
Next, y'all be blaming the wind. Rats. Plumbing.
Bert!
Is the scene really a threat?
What's wrong?
Well, why are they tearing the building down? But the kids who want to get an education have a right.
Okay, cut. That's a wrap.
I feel like I've heard this music before.
There's not a day in my life that I don't feel like a fraud. I don't know anyone who hasn't felt that.
Dinner at the White House? You're kidding me. What you do today? Stuff. Oh, Mom, can't we get a horse?
Well, now, oh, we're in Washington.
When can I have one?
We'll see, Rick. We'll see.
Don't break and don't. Come back.
It doesn't seem like a horror movie yet. I know it is, though.
But no other boy. I'm a Catholic.
What is happening?
Mama.
How about you, Timmy? You are all right?
Fine, Mama, I'm fine.
What you got there?
Sorry?
No.
Dang it.
This is my house, and I'm not going no place.
It's pretty accurate.
Where'd this come from? Found it. Where?
Oh.
Closet.
Ouija board? I've never. Oh, jeez. That's why I don't mess with those.
Who's Captain Howdy?
I make the questions and he does the answers. Captain Howdy, do you think my mom's pretty?
You better say yes.
Well, maybe sleeping. What are we gonna do on your birthday? Go sightseeing?
I love you.
She's so cute.
Why on earth would I want to bring Burke on your birthday?
You like him.
Yeah, I like him, don't you?
Gonna marry him, aren't you?
Oh, this kid. She's a little rascal.
I need reassignment, Tom. I want out of this job. You're the best we've got. I need out. I'm unfit.
That sounds rough.
I think I've lost my faith, Tom.
That sounds a little worse.
He doesn't even call his daughter on her birthday. Oh, circuits my ass. He doesn't give a
Jeez. Oh, she can hear.
Would you try it again, please, and let it ring?
She can hear you.
Don't tell me to be calm, goddamn.
It's at least 6 times she's used God's name in vain. I'm seeing a pattern here.
What are you doing here?
My bed was shaking.
It's not a rat. A rat couldn't do that. That sounds loud as hell. Those attics are so spooky. Ooh, never good news up there. You know, where's your dog, ma'am? You should have a big, scary dog with you. Oh gosh, what? And she likes those swear words. That's 8 times. My eyes are playing tricks on me.
Oh, Carl. Jesus Christ.
No rats.
No rats.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's fine. We're good. He just shows up in there. It's like so spooky. Oh gosh.
If you wasn't a pretty be famous psychiatrist now, Park Avenue, your mother should be living in a penthouse instead of the...
Rude.
You'll find Mrs. Harris in the last bed on the left-hand
Oh
side.
goodness. Oh gosh. Don't touch him.
Why you did this to me, Demi?
Mama, I'm gonna take you home. Couldn't you put us someplace else?
Like what? Private hospital? Who got the money for that, Timmy? You?
It's really sad. That's just way too many people.
There seems to be an alien pubic hair in my chin. Listen, if you ever go up there again, will you take me along? Nazi bastard.
Who's the priest I keep seeing?
Damien Karras. He's our psychiatric counselor. His mother passed away. She was living by herself. And... Butchering Nazi pig. What's for dessert?
He's way too drunk. He's gotta go.
You sleeping?
Oh, no. She's not. Everyone is wasted. She's gonna see you all acting stupid.
Gonna die up there.
She's been sick. She didn't know what she was saying.
Weird.
Just say that, Reagan.
Yep. Let us know. Why are you being so weird?
Mother, what's wrong with me?
I don't know. You tell us. You just peed on the floor.
It's nerves, and that's all.
It could be like night terrors. Some people have that. And they might pee on the floor. I've known someone who does that, actually. It's not that crazy, but that was just a really spooky thing to say. It'd make my hairs stick up if someone said that to me.
Is it coming out, Willie?
Okay. I don't know if I like this. Oh my gosh. That would be so freaking scary.
I wasn't there. I should have been there. There was nothing you could do. Steal my shoes now? I tell fortunes by reading the creases. Shut up and go to sleep. Stealing is a sin.
Really? He just falls asleep. Oh, well. Don't show that again. Oh, I hated whatever that was.
I don't want
Anyways, okay. Her mom does swear a lot.
Well, it's a type of disturbance in the chemical electrical activity of the brain, shaking in the bed. That's doubtless due to muscular spasm.
No, that was no spasm.
Thank you.
The whole bed was thumping with me on it.
Mrs. McNeil, the problem with your daughter is not her bed, it's her brain.
She's like, well, my brain is working just fine.
All we have to do is remove the scar.
Will she stop peeing on my floor?
Regan, I'm just gonna move you down at the table, okay?
Poor thing. Ew, what is that? What's that? You're so brave, girl. I can't say the same for myself. There's blood! Stop! Just get her some diapers, some pull-ups or something. It's fine. This is fine. Oh gosh, what are you doing? Imagine being the mom. Oh my gosh. That would just be terrifying.
Nothing there. No vascular displacement at all.
Dr. Klein.
Yes, I'm Dr. Klein. This is Dr. Tanny. Is she having spasms again?
Yeah, but they've gotten violent.
Oh, it sounds so terrible.
Rosie. Well, that was Ritalin.
Oh, it sounds so spooky. Oh my gosh. You say Ritalin?
What is it with you?
Ah!
It's burning! Mother!
Stop that! Okay.
Let's see what the...
Ah! What?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not.
So gross. What is happening? I did not enjoy that at all. Oh my gosh. It was so disturbing.
She's heavily sedated.
Okay, good.
Probably sleep through tomorrow.
Good.
What was going on in there? How could she fly off the bed like that?
Pathological states
Don't even.
can induce abnormal strength,
Don't with that.
accelerated motor performance. Say a 90-pound woman sees her child pinned under the wheel of a truck. You heard the story.
Okay. Oh, no, sir.
We still think temporal lobe.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Did you see her or not?
Right? It was so disgusting.
There have been more than 100 authentic cases of so-called split personality. Any reasonable psychiatrist would exhaust the somatic possibilities first.
Why are you talking so calmly? I hate it. Stop that.
It will involve another spinal.
Oh, Christ.
Gosh, I feel bad for her. Oh my gosh. They're just gaslighting her. They're talking so peacefully, so calm and quiet. That was so freaky. It's the freakiest thing we've ever seen.
Dr. Tanny says the x-rays are negative. In other words, normal.
Thank you.
Keep any drugs in your house?
No. Of course not. Well, of course I'm sure. I don't even smoke grass.
I feel so bad for her.
I think it's time we started looking for a psychiatrist.
She just wants her little girl back. That hurts my heart. Are you sure it's mental illness? Because I vote no. What's that music? Prickly music. I don't like it. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm not ready for another scene like that.
Jer?
The one time my cat isn't anywhere to be found. I'm getting my feet up. I can't deal with this.
God.
No. Stop saying God, because that might be what it is.
What the hell do you mean going off and leaving Reagan by herself?
Burke,
What's Burke got to do with it?
look, when I went to get the Thorazine, I had him stay with her.
Hi, Chuck, come on in.
Burke's dead. He must have been drunk. He fell down from the top of the steps, broke his neck.
No!
Yeah, I know.
She liked him. Oh, that's so sad. Oh gosh. Are you normal? Or are you weird?
You comfortable, Reagan? Is there someone inside you?
Sometimes.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Is it Captain Howdy? Will you let him answer?
No.
Thank you.
Do you want him to leave you?
Yes.
Yes, I would like that very much.
Come forward and answer me now.
Okay, she's weird now. Weird.
Person inside of Reagan?
Yes.
Who are you?
Oh. I don't even know what to say. I hate it. I hate this. and then it's just normal. How did we get here? It's normal now. Don't play with me like that. That poor mom.
Father Karras, they said I could tell that you look like a boxer. William F. Kinderman, homicide. John Garfield. People tell you that, Father?
People tell you look like Paul Newman?
Always.
Oh, it's pretty there.
Burke Dennings.
You've seen him?
You're also familiar how last week he died.
He didn't do it.
What do you know on the subject of witchcraft?
I once did a paper on it.
I know, I read it. You read how he died.
Oh gosh.
Burke Dennings was found at the bottom of those steps with his head turned completely around, facing backwards.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Didn't happen in the fall.
It's possible.
Oh, that would be so creepy.
You think the killer and the desecrator are the same?
You're the psychiatrist. You know who was sick at the time.
I don't know anyone who fits that description.
Doctor's ethics. If you knew, you wouldn't tell, huh?
No, I probably wouldn't.
A psychiatrist in sunny California was put in jail for not telling the police what he knew about a patient.
Is that a threat?
No, I mention it only in passing.
What was the threat?
I mention it only in passing. I could always tell the judge it was a matter of confession.
You want to see a film with me? Come on. Now answer the question.
You know who I think really did it? The Dominicans. Go pick on them.
I lied. You look like Sal Mineo.
I like how threatening him didn't work. So he tries something else.
We call it somnambuliform possession.
I'm not going to lock her up. And I don't care what you call it. I'm not putting her away.
Good job.
I'm sorry.
It's 88 doctors, and all you can tell me with all of your bullshit is...
I don't blame her. That's like the worst thing ever.
There is one outside chance for a cure. Have you ever heard of exorcism?
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty much discarded these days, except by the Catholics. Belief in the power of exorcism can make it disappear.
Oh, wow.
I should take my daughter to a witch doctor. Is that it?
Oh, you poor thing. She's just gonna do it. At that point, you'd try anything, right? What do you have?
Did you put this in Reagan's bedroom?
Not me. I didn't.
Those stairs are really freaking dangerous. I'm surprised more people don't die off those stairs.
Did you put it there? Of course I didn't. I didn't put it.
Does it matter?
A draft in the fall when the house is hot is a magic carpet for bacteria.
Keep the bacteria away. That'll help.
The fall wouldn't do to his neck what we found, except maybe one chance in 1,000.
Glad they didn't show it.
He was killed by a very powerful man, and then pushed. So how can this be?
Well, she's freaky.
Judas Priest, just a second.
Judas Priest.
No, never mind. No, never mind.
What? What? Oh, she used to draw such cute pictures.
If certain British doctors never asked, what is this fungus, we wouldn't today have penicillin.
Yeah, okay.
For my daughter, could you please give an autograph?
Of course. And what's your name?
I lied. It's for me. The spelling is on the back. Kinderman.
Okay. I lied. It's for me. That's funny.
I'll come back when she's feeling better.
I don't know if you have to lock anything out. You should be more afraid of what's upstairs. I've seen enough of what's upstairs. Oh! What? Oh no! Ugh! Oh my gosh!
You know what she did?
Oh my gosh! Oh no, no, no. No.
You got a cigarette, Father?
That was so disgusting.
How did Shrink ever get to be a priest?
The other way around. Society sent me through medical school.
You're a friend of Father Dyer's, right? About my daughter.
Oh, I didn't know you had one.
Oh yeah. Well, she's great. You'd love her.
Didn't tell you what she did.
He didn't mention it.
Priests are pretty tight-mouthed then, huh?
That depends.
On what?
The priest?
How do you go about getting an exorcism?
Yes, it's come to this.
Beg your pardon?
You heard her. Oh, her face.
Well, the first thing, I'd have to get him into a time machine and get him back to the 16th century. I've never met one priest who has performed an exorcism.
Somebody very close to me is probably possessed.
I'd say.
Father Karras is my little girl.
It could make things worse.
Oh, how?
I need church approval, and that's rarely given. But I could see her as a psychiatrist.
Don't do it.
I can't
Oh,
see
not
her.
a psychiatrist. She needs a priest. Want somebody
No,
to
you
help
don't
me.
see. You don't understand. You
Just help her.
Oh, I feel so bad for her. My eyes hurt. This hurt my soul. My soul. No. Don't. Okay.
It wants no straps.
It?
Nope. No. Hello, Reagan.
Oh, you're worse than ever.
I'd like to help you.
You can't help.
I'd loosen the straps.
Not Reagan.
No.
I see. I'm Damien Karras.
And I'm the devil.
I believe you.
If you're the devil, why not make the straps disappear?
That's much too vulgar display of power, Karras.
Show me Reagan and I'll loosen one of the straps.
Yeah, help an old altar boy, Father.
Your mother's in here with us, Karras. Would you like to leave a message?
Ew.
You must know my mother's maiden name.
Don't go any closer.
What is it?
Oh. Oh. I don't even have any words. This is just the worst. The way I just signed up for nightmares tonight. I have regrets. Now he'll believe you.
I'm only against the possibility of doing your daughter more harm.
Nothing you could do could make it any worse.
I thought you were supposed to be an expert.
There are no experts. You probably know as much about possession as most priests. She says she's the devil himself. It's the same thing as saying you're Napoleon Bonaparte. 6 months in the best hospital you can find.
That thing upstairs isn't my daughter. You tell me you know for a fact that an exorcism wouldn't do any good.
They need to stop gaslighting you. I wish it was Napoleon Bonaparte.
Did you know my mother died recently? Is Reagan aware of it?
Not at all.
It's not important. Good night.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you heard that. There was a creak upstairs. The one time I'm home alone, I got no cat. I'm watching this. I didn't know it would be this much. Okay?
Broke the bread and gave it to his disciples, but this is my body.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
You again. That voice coming from that is just so bone chilling. My bones, they're chilled.
Do it again.
In time.
No, now.
Irabili dictu, don't you agree?
You speak Latin.
Ego te absolvo.
Quod nomen mihi est.
La plume de matant.
I'm glad I don't know what that
Until
means.
she rots and lies stinking in the earth.
Rude?
What's that?
Oh, she's so gross.
Holy water.
It burns!
Who are you?
Like, how many people are in there? You better do it. Please exorcise her. I would like one exorcism, please, sir. He's gotta do it after he sees all this. He's gotta try. Nothing's working.
Want a drink?
Please.
Poor guy.
Twice.
No, that's fine. Please sit.
You
Yeah,
sure?
sit.
He's like, I don't care. I just give me it. I get that.
Where's her father?
In Europe.
Have you told him what's happening? Well, I think you should. I told Reagan that was holy water. I sprinkled it on her and she reacted very violently. It's tap water.
What's the difference?
It doesn't help support a case for possession.
She killed Bert Dennings. She pushed him out her window.
It's English.
Okay.
It's English in reverse. Listen.
Give us time! Let her die! I am no one. I am no one! Baron! Baron, hear the priest!
If I heard that, I would run away, honestly. I'd just drive away. Just keep driving. He's very brave.
I don't want Chris to see this.
I wouldn't
What's
do that.
wrong?
Jeez! It's freezing in there. What is... What? What is it? What is that? Oh, no! Oh, no. I'm disturbed.
You're convinced that it's genuine?
He's gonna do it?
Might be best to have a man of experience, maybe someone who spent time in foreign mission.
I don't care who does it.
Should be a psychiatrist present anyway. How about Lancaster Marin?
That's what it was saying.
I think I read that he was working on a dig near Nineveh. Don't you think he's too old? He's still running around digging up tombs.
Yeah, he was fine.
10, 12 years ago, I think, in Africa. The exorcism supposedly lasted months. Heard it damn near killed him.
He's probably not gonna want to do it again. It's that guy from the beginning. But everyone is just so calm and collected while they're talking about this. That is just, I don't know how. It's like, you have to see this. You have to see this. A sense of urgency, please. Oh. Jeez. It's back. Like, let's just get it done. Sorry, I'm invested. I need this to happen. I need it to happen soon. I can only take so much. My little twerking heart. Oh. You are so nasty.
I'm Father Mary. It's an honor to meet you, Father.
Gather up a cassock for myself. 2 surplices. A purple stole. Especially important is the warning to avoid conversations. The demon is a liar. He will like to confuse us, but he will also mix lies with the truth. Do not listen.
So far, I'd say there seem to be 3. She's convinced that
There is only one.
Okay. This guy looks like he knows his stuff, though. Oh, gosh. But that's good advice. Don't listen to her, it, whatever. Don't listen. You put on some headphones like me. It's okay. This guy looks competent. He's gonna do it. He's got this. Oh, gosh. No. I don't want it to talk. It says the most messed up things.
Stick your cock up her ass, you motherfucking worthless cocksucker.
Be silent!
Oh, thank you. I hate it. I hate the words that it says.
Hallowed be thy name.
And the stuff it spits out.
To ever forgive those who trespass against us. This is our trust in thee, my God. The enemy. That the enemy have no power over. Power is to harm.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Paris, you faithless slime.
Father, everlasting God, and for all consigned that fallen tyrant to the flames of Lord, hear my prayer.
Yeah.
Serpents and scorpions.
Oh! Jeez!
Your unworthy servant from this cruel evil.
Just stop. Just no more. Where does it end?
Oh. The cross of the Lord.
Oh.
The Lord be with us.
Oh my gosh, I saw something so scary. A fraction of a second. What's wrong with you? Oh gosh. Ugh.
Unclean spirit!
Show it up your ass.
It is he who commands you.
I hate that. I hate it when it does that. Oh my gosh. This is the...
You left her alone to die. Shut up!
It's levitating!
The power of Christ compels you!
The power of Christ compels you. I'll do it too if it makes it stop. This is fine. This is fine. This is okay.
Are you tired?
I'm tired. I'm tired. What about me? I just can't believe this. Get out of there, please. Why are you still there? Go with your friend. That's how I mentally feel right now. You too, huh? Jeez. Don't go back in there. Okay. Do what you gotta do. Okay. Just a sweet old lady. Just a nice little old lady. That's nice.
Timmy, why you do this to me? I'm afraid.
Me too.
You're not my mother!
Get out.
Oh, that's so disgusting. She just died. It's really sad if you think about it. The girl is still there. The body is the girl's. It has to be so painful for her. However, this thing's gotta go. She's gotta hear all that.
Is it over?
No, it's not.
Is she gonna die?
No.
I wouldn't be so sure. She's looking gnarly. Jeez. Oh no, no.
Take me! Take me!
They both died? Someone should really fix those stairs. And I don't think anyone is ever gonna want to hang out with you guys ever again. Okay, you look normal again.
I hope I see you again.
I hope so too.
I don't want to see any of you ever again. I can put my feet down finally. Yeah, that was probably the freakiest movie I've ever seen. I feel like I gotta go wash my hands, take a shower, take a nap. You know, my style is I usually watch it again a couple more times, edit it, and then I do a review or analysis. I'm dreading this a little bit because I have to watch it again. Yeah, I'll be right back with my outro. So, I'm pretty sure this movie took about 5 years off of my projected lifespan. On the bright side, I can now correctly spell the word exorcism, which I never thought I'd be able to do successfully. But here we are. I can do it. Maybe someday that'll serve a purpose, but probably not. So I could literally spend hours talking about this movie. It is just so fascinating, not only on screen, but on set, and the effects it had on society, I don't have a proportionate comparison for in terms of contemporary media. So I'm just gonna pick a couple things from my notes to talk about. It'll be a short outro. First off, this movie was something else. I know it doesn't look like it, but I had so much fun watching this and editing this and learning about this movie, even though yeah, it doesn't look like it sometimes, or maybe most of the time, or pretty much the entire time. It's like how most people feel about roller coasters, I feel. You know, they're gonna scream and cry and be miserable the whole time, but they're gonna get off and immediately go to the next line for the next one. It makes no sense. Humans are weird, and I'm a human. Like I've said in some of my previous videos, there is nothing funnier to me than the emotion of disgust. So I tend to laugh a lot during horror movies, especially gross ones. There's just something about watching something on screen and you're just watching it get progressively worse and worse, and knowing that the creators behind it had that as their intention the whole time. They're just watching it, you know, they're just like real people sat down and came up with this, knowing full well how traumatizing it was going to be. I just see these people looking like God after he creates something. They're just like, this is good. It's hilarious to me. I don't know why. So Rotten Tomatoes, Rolling Stone, Time Out, and a bunch of others have The Exorcist listed as number one, not one of, but number one on the scariest and best horror movies of all time. That's not an easy feat, but yeah, usually if you're looking for a list of scariest movies, Exorcist is going to be, if not at the top, near it. I didn't know. Y'all didn't warn me. And I'm still pissed. So this movie is actually based on a novel written in 1971 by author William Peter Blatty, who won an Academy Award for his work on this movie as for the screenplay. So it's very, very unique in that he actually, the real author was, you know, helping create this movie. This novel is also disturbing. It went on to be on the New York Times bestseller list for over a year. I say this to illustrate the fact that people were fascinated by this movie. There hadn't been anything like it. So this movie was released in 1973, the day after Christmas, that's a whole thing. That's a very brave bold move. People waited outside for hours in freezing conditions just to be able to see it. It was released in limited amount of theaters, but soon it went to a wider audience because of word of mouth. People were talking about it, and why wouldn't they? If it's shocking in 2023, I can't imagine what it would have been like, 50 years ago. It was exactly 50 years ago. Jeez, my math is on point. Okay, stop that. I'm sure you've heard about it. People got sick. They threw up in the bathrooms and elsewhere if they couldn't make it. Ambulances were sometimes waiting outside of the theaters. People fainted. People were hospitalized. Some people went through a crisis of faith and went out to seek their own exorcisms. It was just all hell broke loose, I can only imagine what it sounded like inside the theater. Like, I'm making all, I'm yelling and I'm making so much noise just by myself in my room here. I can't imagine what it was like in the theater. Oh my gosh. There was some controversy with the ratings. Some people felt like it should have been rated X. But it got the R rating because it went over budget. It was supposed to cost a lot less than it did to make. Yeah, it had a budget of $12 million and made $428 million at the box office. That's crazy. Those are crazy numbers. Of course, countless religious people were very offended by this movie, despite it seeming to be an advocate for the faith and, in fact, brought people to Catholicism. People were scared into being religious people. It happens all the time, but I would imagine it happened quite frequently after this movie. It scared people into being Catholic or some other religion. It probably wasn't very comforting to know that Blatty's novel had actually been inspired by real events from 20 years prior of a 14-year-old boy undergoing an exorcism and similar events occurring, such as the levitating bed that I loved so much. And you loved so much. It was great. Great, not freaky at all. But yeah, they say that's a real story. I don't know. I wasn't there.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
They should have hired me for the voice of Pazuzu. So as you probably know, strange things were known to happen on and off the set of The Exorcist. The worst of it being that 9 people involved in the making of the film, or their families, actually passed away either during this or shortly after. So there was a night watchman, a set technician, and family members of the cast, but also the cast themselves, such as Jack McGarren, who plays Burke Dennings, and also Vasiliki Malieros, who played Father Karras' mother. I really loved both of their characters. She was so cute, and he was hilarious and very rude, and I don't know, they were great, but unfortunately they passed away shortly after, and it makes it even worse that they died in the movie. I can't imagine that made it any less difficult on the family members who survived them. I can't imagine, like, media and, whispers all around and, like, suspicions and all that. I can't imagine being the family members, so that was really sad. The rest of the happenings, they're more funny to me, but that one sucks, for lack of a better way to say it. There was other stuff, like apparently it snowed inside where they were filming, inside, and that's not really a surprise to me because they had, for instance, the room that Reagan is in, where you can see their breath. It's so cold. It was actually cold. Those aren't effects. It was air conditioned to be really, really cold, below 0 degrees, like 30 below or something like that. Something just terrible. And that poor little girl actually had to hang out in the freezingness. We'll get to that. Anyway, some weird things happened. So even casting was difficult due to the nature of the film. Jane Fonda and Audrey Hepburn at the time were considered for the role of Chris. They rejected it, though. Many directors passed up the opportunity to put Blatty's novel onto the screen, including Stanley Kubrick and a director named Mike Nichols. I don't really know his work, who doubted he could find a 12-year-old girl who could carry the film. People always underestimate young girls, I'm telling you. So Blatty, the screenwriter and the writer of the book, and Friedkin, the director, they wanted to use actors who weren't necessarily, you know, super celebrity status. I guess they wanted to go with the lesser known. The studio was kind of nervous about doing that, but ultimately they did cast people who, you know, maybe the general public didn't recognize right off the bat. So we'll talk about the cast. Regan was played by Linda Blair, who was only 12 at the time that she got chosen over 1,000 girls who auditioned for the part. Friedkin decided on her because he thought, you know, she could handle it. If any little girl could, I guess she was the one. Honestly, that's a very intense role. Of course, a monster like this wasn't possible without at least some assistance from other people. Even though Linda Blair was an amazing performer, they had to call in others to help. Eileen Dietz played Regan for example, the crucifix scene, because she was an actual adult and could handle something so disgusting like that, if anyone could. The studio really didn't want it to be handled by this little girl, and I think that was a good move on their part. I don't care what we had to sacrifice as an audience when we see that there's a difference between... I didn't even notice, honestly. There's no way I could have. But yeah, that was too much. That was too much for a 12-year-old, or maybe she was 13 by then, but that's too much. And the scary voice was the amazing work of voice actor Emma Cambridge, whose work almost went uncredited despite all her hard work. She went through it for this role. She would chain smoke, she would drink. There's even a record of her eating raw eggs for some reason to make her voice super gruff and disturbing. Just the voice work in this, that's crazy. But yeah, they didn't want to include her because it would make audiences a lot more afraid to think that this voice was actually coming from this little girl. That's more unbelievable than anything else to me. I don't want that to be the case. So another interesting thing was that Father Tom, the president of the university, was played by an actual priest. He's a priest in real life, and I actually looked him up for that reason. I was like, he looks so legit. He looks so much like an actual priest. He looks just like this upstanding guy. I don't know, he looks like he'd be cool in real life. I had to look him up. He's an actual priest, a Jesuit priest, and he was actually called upon to perform an exorcism for the actual cast and crew, but he was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So he blessed them, apparently, I guess, and shortly after, the set burned down. So I guess they really did need an exorcism after all. No. Okay, next. The practical effects. I could spend forever talking about this, but I'm only going to mention a couple. The makeup was done by makeup artist Dick Smith, and I guess his assistant. They spent 3 hours on Regan's repulsiveness. 3 hours! And they spent even longer with Father Mirren's character, Max von Sydow. He's actually, did you know he's actually like, he's only in his early 40s, Father Mirren, and he's supposed to be like in his 70s. He looks like he's in his 70s. He's super young. They just did an incredible job with that. That was just shocking to learn. The rotating head, that was actually a latex dummy. They used a condom, according to an interview I read. They used a condom as the bulging neck. That just makes it worse. Most audiences found a couple scenes to be the most disturbing and scary. The crucifix scene, obviously, was just so bad, so terrible for me, and my eyes, and my soul, and my skin. I don't know. It was bad. It was so freaky. That was the worst for me. But also the medical scene was complained about because I guess they were harder on violence than they are now. That was just a typical scene for me. Yeah, I don't like it, but it was apparently really shocking. A lot of people had a hard time with that scene. I'm like, did y'all see the rest of it, or because the medical scene? Yeah, I guess it was a lot, and it doesn't help that the they actually sometimes would use real professionals instead of actors for these parts, like Paul Bateson, an actual radiographer, but also a convicted murderer. Okay, that's terrifying. In the room with Reagan. I'll put it here. But yeah, he's an actual murderer. A lot of people believe him to be a serial killer, actually, but that hasn't been proven, so I won't say one thing or the other. After prison, he may have died in 2012, but no one knows for sure. So just wanted to throw that out there. That's freaky. I'm actually gonna just read off of my notes for a second, if you don't mind. One thing I appreciated is that there's a realistic sense of skepticism, and not just with the medical team. Even the priests had doubts in whether or not an exorcism would work, or even if it was a real thing, or just some dated myth or something. But we also weren't shown a situation in the complete opposite direction where no one believed that it could possibly have anything to do with demons or supernatural or whatever. There was just a really realistic dialogue between doubt and critical thinking displayed in the acting, dialogue, and actions of the characters. So that was cool. That was kind of realistic. It's kind of like how I talk about in Psycho. It feels more realistic if the characters aren't super gullible or overly critical. They don't believe anything, you know. There's a balance that will make it more realistic. A couple last things. Shout out to the performance by Lee J. Cobb, who plays Lieutenant Kinderman. I'm going to put my favorite scene right here.
A psychiatrist in sunny California, no less.
This particular scene was very impressive to me. By the way, I hate having to cut some of these scenes just as much as you probably don't like to see them cut, but I do have to cut them a lot of the times because I'll upload a video and it gets taken down because I show too much of the movie. But I leave as much as I can in order to provide context. I just don't want to risk having the video taken down because I show too much of the movie and then it's not able to be seen at all. I don't want to risk that, so that's why I cut the way I do. Like, the exchange between these two is just so believable, and it also gives me yet another reason to watch 12 Angry Men, which I will be doing because Lee J. Cobb is in that movie. But yeah, he was great. My favorite character in this movie was well, I'll tell you who it's not. Smugly Light Gas. Dr. Tanny here. He was my least favorite. What a jerk. What a complete jerk. I'll tell you. Rude. He's just so peaceful, so calm, so gaslighty. I hated that dude. He was my least favorite. Including the demon, Pazuzu. By the way, that coin thing that they found, that Father Marin found, was actually Saint Joseph, the husband of Mary. Oh, I just remembered something I didn't add in my notes. The name, her name is Chris, and that's short for Christine, which means this. I forgot what it means, but I just thought that was cool. I looked that up. Bet you didn't think of that. One of my favorite lines from her was, "It just so happens that somebody close to me is probably possessed." She goes from this character, she says God or Jesus in vain, like, just constantly throughout the beginning of the movie, and for her to go, she's obviously not religious, you know, I would say, you know, she's doing that, at least not Catholic, but she goes from that, just someone who's just completely irreverent, to someone who's actually considering, truly, genuinely considering an exorcism. Nothing is off limits or unrealistic to Chris at that point. She's willing to do whatever to get her daughter back. I really love that line there. It just shows the progression of her character, for better or for worse. She's changed. Also, the Father Mirren scene where he gets out of his car and the moon and the lights. Oh gosh, that's so pretty. I was working on my thumbnail the other day and I found that scene to put there and I was like, this is so freaking pretty. I had to mention that. I was really relieved to find that the phrase "la plume de ma tante," that Reagan says,
La plume de ma tante.
actually means my aunt's quill in French, which is a joke to, if you've taken a foreign language class, you know, like some of the phrases you learn are just so ridiculous and out there, pointless and useless. My aunt's quill. Yeah, but you just learn these ridiculous phrases in these classes, so I was relieved it wasn't anything gross. It was, possessed Reagan is actually pretty funny sometimes. Like, she's shocking. I was laughing so much while I was editing this, I'm not gonna lie. During these, just she's like the biggest pervert ever, but it's kind of funny. Like, it's just so shocking that it's funny, you know? I think that may have been what they're going for. I don't know if they were trying to be funny. I don't know if it was intentional, but it's so freaking funny. So now that we've covered the good and the ugly, let's move on to the bad. There's not too much of it, but I did want to mention a couple things. So Ellen Burstyn, who plays Chris, actually suffered a permanent spinal injury while filming. Very, very bad. This was before actors were really, really protected. I would call it enforced method acting, which I just don't like. I'll leave it at that. But she actually fell during the crucifix scene, and they left it in the film even though she didn't want it in there. It was just really sad. So she has probably back pain for the rest of her life. I'm not going to notice the difference between a real cry of pain and an amazing, talented actress's cry of pain. Those are the same thing to me, so I really don't need that. I just think Linda Blair, who plays Reagan, was seriously injured. Her back, with the mechanical rig, the violently shaking bed during that part, they moved it just too fast for children. Aren't meant to get their backs broken and stuff like that, so when you hear about that, it's just very shocking and terrible, and that shouldn't have happened, but it did. Jeez, you've been talking for so long. I've been talking for 49 minutes. Jeez. Also, there's a scene that I will be watching, but it's a stunt scene apparently, and I didn't want any spoilers, but I did read about the actress. Stuntwoman Ann Miles performed something for Reagan, which I have yet to see. But yeah, she initially wasn't credited either for her work. I see a pattern in this. A lot of things were better back then, but that's one of the things that I'm glad we've improved upon. I feel very passionate about it, guys. I like people, and I don't like to see them hurt. Poor Linda Blair. And she's so easygoing about it, but even she had to have bodyguards following her for like half a year because people sent her death threats over a performance that she did because they said she was promoting Satanism or encouraging whatever. Really, I can't believe people would blame a little girl. Actually, I can. They do that a lot. I love kids. I love them. Okay. Okay, now the part that I've been dreading. There is a scene that was sent to me called the stair scene. I have not watched this yet. Apparently it was added into the 2000 director's cut that I didn't watch because I like to watch the theatrical version first. Alright, I was told to watch this scene, and I'm gonna do it on camera with you. For better or for worse. Oh geez. Okay. That looks okay. The cover of this looks quite frightening. I don't like it. Apparently it's just it's the scariest scene to a lot of people, and I don't think it gets much worse than that crucifix scene. I don't know. The worst thing for me, oh my gosh, I almost didn't even mention it, was that flash of Satan or whatever that's supposed to be that would happen for like a quarter of a second, or if that. Grant me. And traumatized me. That's honestly what disturbed me most about this movie is what happened behind the scenes. The injuries disturbed me the most, but that flashing face, they did such a good job with that. That's up here forever. That's forever. I have refused to look at it when I was editing. I would preemptively blur it out when I knew that scene was coming. I'm like, I can't handle it. I'm not looking at that again. I'm gonna blur it. I'm not doing this. I'm protecting my mental health and sanity. Okay, we're gonna watch this. The Exorcist spider walk scene. That's what it's called. I don't like the sound of that.
YouTube TV. Terms and
Brooke's dead.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh. Ew. Why are you doing that? Oh. Nope. Nope. No.